Hello and welcome to Life and Fighter podcast. This is a UKFC fighter edition. I'm Jake Cross from Empire Grappling and UKFC. I'm joined by Dakota Ditcheva. She is now the reigning UKFC amateur women's flyweight champion. How's it going, Dakota?
I'm really well, thank you. Yeah, I'm good.
So we'll quickly put on a quick background of yourself to the people that will be watching and listening, just in case they don't know you or want to get to know you a bit more. So you're now 21 years old. Your mixed martial artist record is 3-0. You're 2-0 on UKFC. And like we say, around 6-7 weeks ago, you became the women's flyweight champion. You train at Aspire. How long have you been training there for?
I've been there like a year and a half now, but at the start it was very on and off. Like I wasn't there all the time. I live in Manchester, so I have to travel up there. But yeah, just before this lockdown happened, I got into a nice routine where I was attending quite a few classes and stuff. But I've been there about a year and a half now.
So, because you're based in Manchester, what made the decision to train in Liverpool at Aspire?
It was the first gym I went to be honest. I was taken there by Daz Norris. He was like, I've known him all through my Thai career as well. He's always helped me then. And he just said, you need to get into MMA. I know this top gym. And he was teaching one of the classes there on a Thursday night. He was like, you need to come down, I'll introduce you. You need to start training with Dean and Phil. So I was like, it is something I've always wanted to do, MMA. So, it was kind of the path I was heading down. But I just didn't know where to start really. Like my mum's only ever done like Thai boxing, kickboxing, things like that. So she didn't know anything about that side of the sport or anything. So I went with Daz, and then from there I just started training all the time with Phil, started learning the groundwork and stuff, and then just loved it.
So you touched on the Thai career. So because of your mum, this is the main reason why you got into martial arts. At what age did you start?
Yes, I was 4. I had like two little fights, 2 little interclubs we call them, at 4 years old. And then after that I stopped. I didn't want to do it. My mum still doesn't want me to fight now, but I went into other sports. I was good at like dancing and things like that and gymnastics, and that's always what my mum wanted me to do. Like she wanted me to be a girly girl, and I kind of came back to it when I was 13 and made my own mind up then.
So I was doing a bit of research beforehand. I think it's crazy. Like yourself and your mum have both got Wikipedia pages. Your mum is full of loads of details. So let's quickly touch on your mum. So her career, she started fighting in the middle of the 80s. She's done a boxing fight in America in the late 90s, but starting the career middle of the 80s, all over Britain, then America and Europe. And then, would you say retired? Obviously, she's retired now, but 2001 was the last fight. So, what made, if your mum doesn't want you to fight, but it's all she's ever knew, and then obviously it's rubbed off on you, what's the conversations like when you started to pick it back up?
I mean, she just kind of left us to it. Like I was at the start, when I come back to it, it was like 12, 13. I was in and out of training all the time, and it was kind of just, I've always, since the gap between 4 years old and 12, I was in and out doing the odd session. So to her, when I started to take it serious at 13, it was kind of just another phase that I was probably going to grow out of. But I didn't, and I took it really serious. And she's always been dead supportive. Like, if that's what I want to do, that's fine. And she's always like, she's always been there for me. So, now she's just she's with it. She just basically says, you're either all in or you don't do it. You pick something else, and we've just gone with it together, really.
So on your own Wikipedia, it refers to you as you won the International Federation of Muay Thai Amateur World Championships. That was in Sweden. When was that? What year was that?
I've done. They're the World Championships. They're like I'd say the IMMAF, but they're the same as the IMMAF for MMA.
All right, okay.
So that's like the top championships to do in Thai boxing. So I did that 4 years in a row, and I think the first one was in 2015. Won it 4 years in a row. The last one that I did was in Sweden, and yeah, they were like the highlight. It was probably the highlights of my amateur career in Thai boxing, really, them competitions.
So when you're stepping in the transition from Thai to MMA, your stand-up's there. No one can ever question your stand-up. What was it like to then learn the ground game and the wrestling? How different? Because you was at such a high level as a Thai boxer and to learn something new and technically be humbled in certain positions. What was that like as an athlete?
I mean, it was crazy, really, because I think I've been in my mum's gym for so long. I've been training with the same people for so long. You kind of get used to the styles, the people that you train with. You get used to kind of what they throw, the combinations. And even though I was at a high level in Thai boxing, I still felt like I had so much to learn. And then when I went to MMA, the ground weight was just completely different anyway. That was just, but I did fall in love with it straight away. But then even the stand up for MMA, it was like I'd just been put back to rock bottom again, because everyone just felt so much better. It wasn't that they were so much better, it was just that I was learning to find my feet again with like total different like styles and drills, and just it's so different. Like they are both stand up, but the style that, you know, everything needed to change. And I felt like I was still learning in Thai boxing, and then when I went to MMA, it was like I was back at the bottom again. I felt like I was a beginner. So but I've loved learning again. I have loved that.
I presume that the stance in the Thai boxing is quite tall. You keep each other at range, whereas in MMA, or especially when you're doing stand-up MMA, it's more of a wrestling base. You've got a lower, wide stance just in case any takedowns came towards you. What was that transition to sort of start widening your base, start looking at shots are still going to come in from a wrestling point of view?
When I first sparred, I was just getting taken down straight away. Like every shot I threw just seemed to be the wrong time. Like everyone was just shooting in on me. But I suppose I wasn't training with beginners. I was training with like Liam and Marlon and, you know, Scott and all them. So they were just kind of playing with me. They weren't even trying at the start. They still don't now, but you know, it was hard. It has, even now I'm still learning. I still haven't got it now, you know, that timing for the takedowns and things like that, and picking the right shots at the right time. I've still got so much to learn. I still feel like a complete beginner now, but I just need to keep practicing, and I'll get there. With this lockdown, I'm delaying myself even more, aren't I? But I'll get there.
So let's move on to the MMA career. So like you say, you've been there around 18 months, so say late 2018. You decided to make your MMA debut. It's on UK Fighting Championship 9, so that was around a year ago, around 13 months ago. It's against Sylvia Leonora. What was the build up to that like, the training camp to make an MMA debut? Was you nervous at all, or was you're that experienced that nerves aren't a factor, or because it was something new, nerves were a big part of it?
It was so nerve-wracking. I think it was just a complete change. I had a whole new quality team. The whole way through my Thai career, I've always had my mum and my brother and my other trainer Leroy. They've always been set. I've had them there all the time. It's the same warm up. Like, you know, I get oiled up. I get massaged, and then I start warming up on the pads. You know, we drill a bit. When I went into the back for MMA, it was just completely different. Like in Thai boxing, you get oiled up. That's the first thing. You don't do that in MMA because you can't oil yourself up. So that was it was just a complete change of routine, and I was a little bit like, oh my God, what is going on? I did have my mum there with me still in the corner, but like even the warm up and stuff, like it was just the warm up room, even like the mats on the floor and the way people were just sat around, and like it was just really strange, and my nerves were just like I didn't know what to do. But you know, as the fighting nerves, that was the same. I just felt like I was in there to do what I've been born to do, is what I always say.
So in the Thai career, how many fights have you had?
Oh God, I've had loads of junior ones, and obviously then world championships and things like that. But pro, I think I had 14. So I was a 12 1-1 or 13 1-1, something around that.
And when was your last Thai fight?
I actually did a K1 fight. Was it this year? Last year, the end of last year, I did a K1 fight. You know, in between the MMA, because I was just trying to stay active at learning at the same time. So I was just I jumped in for a K1 fight in Bulgaria, so that my family over there could watch me. So yeah, that was really cool.
So is that where your family's from originally? Like, some of your family's from Bulgaria, or is it just that sort of end of Europe?
Yeah, no, my dad's Bulgarian, so I'm half Bulgarian. I've got a load of family and stuff over there who don't get to see me fight. So the first opportunity I had to fight over there, I took it.
That's quite cool. So, like you say, you like to keep active. You did the my other show, Empire Grappling. You did that in January in Leeds. Did very well at that. What's it like, sort of? So, especially in the last few months, you've gone from jiu-jitsu, Bulgaria, K1 fight, and MMA in a short period of time. Is that how you want to go going forward? You just mixing up as much as possible, or is it you're just going to stay down one route?
No, I after that fight, in that K1 fight that I did, Phil sat me down and said, like, if we're going to do this MMA now and trying to get to the top, like, our end goal is to get in the UFC. So if I'm going to do that, like, I don't need to be waiting around. Like, I'm just going to go for it now. So I packed the Thai in, I packed the K1 in, and I was just literally like going for the jits competitions, the grappling and MMA. That's it.
How did your mum take that? That you technically now ignoring what she's taught you?
Yeah, I mean, she's just happy she knows that I've always wanted to be in the UFC. That's always what I've wanted to do. So she kind of saw it coming anyway. But I still train in her gym all the time. Like, she teaches me all the time. Stand up still. My mum's style when she used to fight is very like the MMA style, like on your toes. It's not traditional Thai where she's like tapping her feet and stuff like that. So the stuff she teaches has always worked quite well anyway. So yeah, but she's not keen on the MMA. I will say that she's not, and my dad is definitely not with it. He does not want me to do it. But yeah, and fights like the Joanna one, she's just thought that Chinese girl, and her face was like, oh, my parents were mortified. They were just like, I don't think you should do this anymore. I was just like, God, just give it a rest.
It's the craziest thing watching all the sports, how the disciplines work, and you would think, especially Thai and boxing, it's obviously it's completely striking. That's all you can do. Boxing, it's constantly just hitting the head, which can cause concussions. Thai, legs can break, anything like that. Whereas MMA, it feels like overall there is less damage, well, long-term damage. But like you say, that Joanna fight, the worst thing close to that was probably Mark Hominick against Aldo, where he had like a hematoma, like an extra head. That's a little close, but that she did not look herself. Like, that was what was. Obviously, you're a fighter. You're a natural-born fighter. You're an athlete. When you see that and you still want it, what is going through your head when you're watching something that's your weight, your highest level? What's going through your head?
I don't really know. Like, that's part of it, isn't it? Like, that can happen. That can happen to me now. I can fight someone at amateur and they can do that much damage to me. Like, I don't know. I expect that now. I go into every fight expecting that could happen. But I suppose looking like that is not what I'm going for. But that I love fighting that much. It's kind of, you accept it or you don't do it. To me,
I guess it keeps you on your toes, though. That you want to prevent that, so you prepare even better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, I'm hoping that I go into a fight and I win it better than that. Do you know what I mean? Every time I go into a fight, I'm hoping to end it in round 1. I don't want a 5-round war like that. I love to fight, but I don't want my face looking like that at the end. So that's the difference, isn't it? No one really wants that.
Of course. So Phil sat you down and said, let's concentrate on MMA. Let's hit it full force. You fought for the UKFC women's title on February 29th. You won that. Yeah. What was that like, going to a 5-round decision against a tough, durable Shauna Bannon from Ireland?
Yeah, I love the fact. I love it when I get 5 rounds. Like, when I was back in my Thai days and stuff, a lot of my fights used to end dead early, and I used to cry sometimes after it. I used to be dead disappointed. Like, I've trained 6-8 weeks for this fight, and I've got a round or 2 rounds out of it. So when I've got 5, I'm always buzzing. But I wasn't really buzzing with that fight. It was a little bit boring for me, like, just up on the cage the whole time. I didn't really wake up till round 3. So when I got here on the cage a bit, there was a bit more action. But apart from that, it was a bit boring, wasn't it? I learned from it. Of course.
Between the 3 MMA fights you've had then, so you had Sylvia in UKFC, and you went to Almighty and fought Levi Steedman, and then Shauna. So Levi was also a decision over 3 rounds. People said that's probably the best fight they've seen both of you in. What did you take? What have you took from each fight? Have you preferred one over the other? Have you preferred an opponent? Has one opponent been harder?
I won't say I've preferred one over the other, to be honest. Like, they've all been so different, which is really good. Like, at the start of my career now, that's kind of what I need. I need testing in different areas, and that's kind of what I'm getting. So, you know, fighting, I don't know if it's Shauna or Shannon, fighting her, like
Shauna,
she's
yeah.
probably the top girl at the moment. So for me to get a win against her, then that's good for me. And I'm up there. I am. I'm just so many different things I'm learning at the moment. I'm just happy to have any fight.
So when Phil sat you down and then you had this title fight, and obviously before COVID-19 and lockdown, what was the aim for 2020? What was the how many fights did you want to churn out? What did you want to do with the year?
Oh, we had so many plans. We had a really good year planned out, to be honest. But that all went crazy. But anyway, I had another grappling competition coming up before we got put in lockdown. I think confirmed another fight as well with you guys.
Yeah.
I think it might have been. So I was gutted about that as well. I've got this belt sat looking at me in my room now. I can't even defend. So I was dead gutted. But yeah, I mean the plans at the end of the year still remain the same. Obviously, if we can get through all this. I'm still training and trying to keep my fitness up and things like that. It's a shame that I can't grapple and keep learning, because if I was doing it every day in this lockdown, I'd come out of it like dead good. But everything happens for a reason. So yeah, plans still remain the same. Still want to be fighting by the end of the year, hopefully, but we'll see.
So, like you say, not obviously people want to win the belt and then they don't really think about defending it. They either go pro or they do something different. Does it mean as much to you to defend it as to win it?
Yeah, definitely. Like, yeah, you don't just want to get it once and then get it taken off you, because really, what does that? That's nothing to me. Like, if I've got that belt, I'm staying at the top with it. Do you know what I mean? So that's my goal. And I suppose like having the belt as well, I struggle to get matches. So having that belt for me is like a bit like, well, now maybe a few people want to fight me. I've got this belt.
Yeah, you sort of like you're hanging it in front of the fight to say if you want the
it.
belt, you've got to come through me to get it. Yeah, that makes sense. So you're at home during lockdown. You've got your mum, which is world credentialed fighter, but she doesn't do MMA. She doesn't do jiu-jitsu. What's that like? Are you still doing stuff at home, pads and stuff, or is it you don't want to concentrate on that? You're trying to get as much grappling maybe with your brothers or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I've hit a few pads and things like that. It's obviously not the same in the garden, is it? It doesn't feel the same and stuff. And home workouts never feel the same as they do in the gym. There's a big atmosphere of everyone around each other and stuff. It's not the same. But I've got like small mats here at home, but no one to grapple with. Like my mum doesn't know anything, and my brother, he doesn't know anything either. He would just wing it and just mess about. But I suppose bad habits happen, and I was on such a good. I was learning loads. I was working with Phil a lot, so I was picking up loads of different stuff, working on loads of stuff. So I don't want to just. At the moment, I'm just watching the videos that I've got on my phone and just trying to keep my memory ticking rather than picking up a load of like bad habits on the mat.
So is Dean or Phil, Marlon, Liam, Scott, any of them, are they speaking to you, trying to help you little things to do at home? Obviously, Liam, I interviewed him the other day. He's lucky enough to now live with his sister fiance Scott, and he can do things. Obviously you've got that position with your mum, but to train, but not what you want to train in. Are they sending stuff for you to learn, videos, anything like that?
No, I mean we don't communicate like that. It's just, I suppose it's hard for them as well. They're not doing the training that they're used to, are they either? So their memory's probably like not jogging all the time of what to work on and things like that. But I suppose it's different when you're rolling with each other, kind of what to work on and what, like, you can correct each other and things like that. Whereas if I'm just doing it here on my own, I'm probably not even doing the right thing. So I've just kind of stuck to the Thai pads with my mum and my brother, and just tried to watch the videos that I had of myself before, so that I can just keep on top of it that way.
So what do you think Aspire brings to you that most of the gyms around the country don't, especially for your career? Your aim is UFC. You have got an experienced Thai background. What's different to Aspire than anywhere else?
I don't know whether I can answer that. I've only ever really been to Aspire. I've been to ASW as well a few times to train there. But yeah, I mean, I can't answer that. Like, Aspire is just a top gym. Like, the effort they put in towards, like me, Liam, Marlon, we've got quite a good girls team now at Aspire that they've been building up for us. The effort they put into us, like if we give it back to them, they're 100% for us all the time. So I suppose you don't always get that at other gyms. You know, they're kind of like, a lot of gyms are into money making and things like that, aren't they? They just want the numbers there all the time. They're like proper dedicated on getting us where we want to be. So I suppose that's what's best. That's your best interest, isn't it?
Of course. So you mentioned the Thai version of the IMMAFs. Is the MMA version, or IMMAF, is that on your radar? Whether it's Europeans, Worlds, Pan Americans, Pan Asians, do you want to get them tournaments under your belt because you've had that experience doing something similar and you feel like an elevator?
I mean, I've tried. I went to one of the trials and stuff, and I was gonna be part of the team, but the actual championships themselves stopped me because I have a Thai record that is pro that I've been paid for, so they're not letting me do it
at all, ever.
At all, no, at all. They've just basically, I mean, I know a few other people who have actually done Thai before and been paid to fight and have done it. So, I mean, they're just very strict with it, aren't they? So flying all the way over to Bahrain and taking the risk would have been stupid.
Wow. I've heard of pro MMA fighters, especially in the early days of the IMMAF 2015, sandbag back to amateur just to get the experience there, but that's wrong. Whereas in yours, it's a completely different field, and I feel like, especially with the IMMAFs, it's a lot more wrestling based. The Americans, the Bahrainians, the Russians. So that would be a big learning curve for you, which is, if they don't change their mind, that is quite unfortunate, because especially one, as a lady, and two, with your background, it's very hard to get matches. Even we know that. Is there any ladies out there that you want to face that you've seen on the rankings or anything?
I mean, we did put a little bit of a list together, me and Phil, and at Aspire we put a list together of people that we wanted to go through or try and get a match with, but there's no one in particular. I just want to fight, and I want a proper fight, basically. You know, I don't want just to get in there and someone to raise my hand and say I've won after 30 seconds. I want to get in there and learn, win or lose, as long as I've got out of it what I went in to do, and that's improve. Every fight I have, I just want to fight better. And I felt like on the last fight, I couldn't. I spent the whole time on the cage. I didn't get to go to the floor and show what I'd been learning there. I didn't get to strike. The distance was just closed all the time, and I didn't feel like I showed that I'd improved. So I was waiting to get in again to go at it again, but you know, at least I've got more time now to improve for whoever I'm going to fight next. Doesn't matter to me.
So COVID-19's happened, so there's going to be a delay in whatever's next for you. Is there an end goal or end time you think, right now I want to turn pro? Is it you want to do it as soon as possible, or was it next year? Was it the year after? Is he sort of a point where you feel, Dean, we're like, that's when we're going to do it anyway, no matter what, or is everything changing now because of what's going on?
No, I didn't. I've never wanted to rush to pro in my Thai boxing career. I always did them championships, them amateur ones, and they were kind of what brought me on. You know, I was getting 4 or 5 fights in a week, and I was just getting so much out of it. And that's kind of what I wanted to do in amateur as well. Just as long as I had no injuries, just keep fighting and improving. And there was no rush for me to go pro. Obviously, it's hard because I don't have that many girls to fight. You know, a few people don't want to fight me, so I'm kind of running out of opponents already. But if the time comes, you know, where sooner rather than later that I have to turn pro, then I will do it, as long as Dean and Phil and my mum and that think it's the right time for me.
Okay, so turn pro, UFC is the aim, and obviously MMA is the goal now. Is there anything else you do with your time apart from the MMA side? Is there anything you fill your time with? Do you is there any side projects that you normally keep yourself occupied with?
Don't normally know. That's how I've struggled so much the first couple of weeks of this isolation. I felt so lost. I was honestly a mess. I was just my whole life is spent in the gym. If I'm not down at Aspire, I'm down at my mum's gym, and if I'm not training, I'm coaching, so I'm in the gym. I'm never at home. My parents never used to see me, so at the start I was just what is my life without a gym? Like I was proper struggling, but then the last 2 weeks I've been really on it. I've been really well. So I've been like working on the side projects that I should have been doing when I wasn't in the gym, that I've kind of been putting off. So I've been like bringing out my own fight range, which I wore my last fight. I wore my pink skirt and my pink top.
Nice.
That's like a new brand that I'm going to bring out now. So I'm just working on loads of ideas and different designs for that to get that going, and hopefully I can get that launched straight away. So yeah, I'm working on different things now, just keeping my mind focused, that's all.
I think that's the best thing to do it. And plus, if you've got your own brand and you're wearing it in the cage, you just advertise it to your opponent in the fight, and afterwards you say, "Do you like what I'm wearing? Yeah. I can sort you out." So, is that what you've always been into, the design element and stuff like that, or is that because now you've got time, that's what you want to do?
That's something I've always, like, even in Thai boxing, I used to wear skirts and stuff. I'm not, even though I fight and stuff like that, I'm not dead boyish or anything, you know. I'm in the gym sweaty all the time, but I'm a proper girly girl, so wearing a skirt and things like that when I fight is dead important to me. Like, I don't want to just make my money through fighting as well. Obviously that's not my aim, to get my face mashed up every couple of months. I want to do it through different things, you know, build a bit of a platform for myself. So that's just something that I've always wanted to do, and that I've had in the pipeline for a long time, just not been focused enough to do it.
So from what we see of you on social media, you're quite an easygoing, relaxed, happy girl. Yeah. I noticed there was something the other day of you and your mum trying a TikTok of the where you sort of every time a beat goes, you sort of escalate the movement. Is that something you would do anyway, or is this isolation sending you that batter that you think, right, I've got to do anything just to try and pass time?
No, honestly, like, we are the craziest family. There's 5 of us in the house, and I think my dad is mad, but not in the same way we are. So like, he's too serious to do TikToks and things like that. But like me, my mum and my brother, it's like, we're just crazy all the time. Like, I do get a lot of messages, even before the isolation, like, people just watch my stories over and over again, just because we just do crazy things all the time. Like, my brothers are nuts and stuff. So that is just a normal day in our house, isolation or not.
I've met your dad once, and that was the last fight, and
oh god,
causing me headaches. He was in Shauna's corner shouting stuff, and I thought, it's going to kick off in a minute.
Oh,
trying to get him to move. But I guess that's being a parent. It's hard to watch, and especially like you say, with your mum and dad not liking the sport as much as you. They just want you in and out as fast as possible. But when it gets once you're in there, the adrenaline's going. What's your mum like with it now? Does she ever come down to Aspire with you? Because I know she's normally in the back with you guys, with Phil, with Dean, etc. Yeah. So she feels like she's part of the team anyway. Does she ever come down and watch the sparring to see where you're up to?
I mean, when I first moved to Aspire, she was she came down quite a few sessions, like the odd ones and stuff. She also works full time. She's a police officer, my mum, so she's
respect
full time with that. So yeah, she's not got much time, but if she can come down for a session to watch me, she will. But otherwise, she'll just keep up to date on videos and things like that, and we'll just keep working what we're doing in the gym and stuff.
So if there's one reason to be scared of your mum in public, there's now 2 reasons. That's someone you do not want to mess with. And she is lovely. That's the craziest thing.
She is. So
lockdown, you're trying to keep sane, you're trying to keep active. Is anything, also like you say, you never normally in the house anyway, but is anything you've now sat down, obviously, I don't know if do you game? I know Liam McCracken and that said they just started to go into like the consoles, or do you try to watch a few TV series and films to pass time? Is it anything like that you wouldn't normally do that you've sort of gone to now?
Not really. Like, I'm big on like law of attraction and things like that. I don't know if you know about that, like, or into it, law of attraction and manifesting and things like that. So I've just had a bit more time to kind of watch videos like that. Really, at the start I was in a bit of a rut. Like I said, I was staying in my room watching Netflix and eating rubbish. That was literally, and I never ever watch TV really. I'm never in the house to do that. So I kind of just got myself into a bit of a bad place. But after that, I kind of like started just getting everything in a routine. I started eating a bit healthier, like getting in a routine with my training and things like that. And yeah, just back on my positive thinking and things like that I've always done anyway.
Yeah, I think, like you say, because you're normally only in the house to technically grab something to eat, sleep, and then back out. Because you're in that house, your mind goes, right, you either eat or sleep in this position. You're not active, you're not keeping yourself busy. That's what I found difficult. I now work from home anyway, but I had a routine of in the morning I'll go to the gym, I'll come home, I would sort the house out, then I would work until my partner got home. Now we're both at home. She tidies up because she's got nothing else to do, and I'm just doing these podcasts because trying to keep active. Is there anything you would say to people watching that, like you said, what keeps you busy, that you'd recommend for people to keep mentally strong? Because in this time it is very hard. What would you recommend for them to do?
I'd just say, even if it's like, just set yourself a little routine. Like loads of people that I speak to, and even a lot of like my family and friends and stuff, they felt like they're just wasting the days, and like they've got no routine, no schedule, no nothing. And I've said, like, before you go to bed, just like write yourself a little schedule. Like, even if it's, I'm getting up at 10, I'm going to have my breakfast, I'm going to go for a walk and come back, I'm going to have a shower. Like, write it down so that you're ticking it off, that you've been for a walk, or that you've had your breakfast, just so it, you know, mentally you get stronger and you feel like you're actually doing something with your day. And then, I don't know, for me, it was like my diet and things like that. Being a fighter, I think when you get on the scales at fight weight, you're dead thin and you're dead light, and then next minute it's like you've put all this weight on, and you're not training, and you haven't got the same motivation that you had when everyone was in fight camp with you. And I think that's dead difficult. So like with me, I always feel like I'm putting loads of weight on and everything, but I'm really not. It's just mentally, I just get myself, because I'm not at the fight weight, I get a little bit like confused mentally in my head. So like as soon as I started eating a little bit healthier, I just felt so much better. And I think it's just the whole isolation thing is just playing mind games, isn't it?
As a fighter, each point of a kilogram is like a victory. So
honestly,
when it goes down, it's a victory. So when even a point of a kilogram up, it's like a massive failure, and you've done something wrong. So yeah, I respect that completely. This is the bit that you was worried about with regards to the questions. So I'm going to get them out of the way now. So they're easy ones, so don't stress. Just pick something, even if it's not a relation to you. So ketchup or brown sauce?
Ketchup.
Mayo or salad cream?
Salad cream.
City break or beach holiday?
Beach. I need the sun.
Xbox or PlayStation?
PlayStation, I think my brother's play.
When you eat, is your fork in your left hand or your right hand?
Depends if I've got a knife in the other one or not. If I've got a knife, the fork goes in my left hand and I cut with my right. If I'm just eating with a fork, it goes in my right hand.
Because you're right-handed.
Yeah.
That's the most detailed answer I've had so far, but that does sort of make sense. Well, at least it's in the right hand when your knife's in the other. Shower or bath?
Oh, shower. I feel like I'm losing weight when I'm in a bath.
A lot of fighters have said that. Gi or no gi?
No gi.
A submission victory or a KO?
Normally a KO, but I am dying for a submission victory at the moment since moving to MMA. So I'll probably say submission. Yeah.
Cool. I think you've already answered this, but let's put you on the spot. A war or a quick finish in MMA?
A war.
A war. And then you seem to know your history of MMA anyway, so Anderson Silva or George St. Pierre?
Anderson Silva.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for that. Before I let you go then, Dakota, do you want to thank anyone that you train with, any sponsors, anything like that? Shout them out.
Yeah, obviously a big shout out to Aspire. I can't wait to get back training with everyone. I've missed them all so much. And yeah, big shout out to obviously 1CBD. It's so important for fighters at the moment to have sponsors. You know, when we're not fighting, we're not earning any money, and they're all sticking by us. So 1CBD and MMA Play as well. Big thank you to Heavy Duty Fight Management, who are helping me get all my little projects going and, you know, moving forward well. Everything else is on stop. And yeah, just thanks to whoever I'm living with, because I'm a bit of a wild one, so thanks for putting up with me. Thanks for having me on as well.
No stress. So if people want to now follow your career, whether they didn't know you beforehand or they did and they want to know you, so what social media can they follow you on?
I'm on Instagram, it's Dakota D, and I've also got a Facebook fight page, so that's Dakota Ditcheva athlete as well, so you can follow me on that.
I'll put both links in the bio when we release this in a couple of days. But thank you very much for your time, Dakota. If you need anything, give us a shout. If you've got any announcements or anything like that, we'll have you on again or whatever avenue you want it. But yeah, stay safe, stay sane, and hopefully this ends as soon as possible and we can get you back fighting.
Oh, you too. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dakota. Speak soon.
See you later.
Bye.